Once you turn 18, in the eyes of the law, you are now an adult. Even though it might not feel like it, you still can't legally drink alcohol or purchase tobacco products, but you are legally an adult once you turn 18. As an employee, you have certain rights. In most cases, your employer must pay you minimum wage, provide you with overtime pay for hours worked above 40 hours per week, and provide you with workers' compensation and unemployment insurance. So this segment will focus on jobs and information regarding employment. Idaho is an employment at will state, which means that an employer can fire you for pretty much any reason except on the basis of your age, disability, race, color, national origin, sex, genetic information, or religion. You can also leave a job at any time for any reason, but even though you can leave a job at any time for any reason, doesn't mean that you should just quit and not go back. It is best to give your employer notice when leaving a job. 2 weeks notice is customary, and it gives your employer a couple of weeks to try to find someone to fill your position. And like I said, it's not something that you absolutely have to do, but is a good practice to get into, because when you're looking for jobs, a lot of employers will call your last job and ask what kind of a worker you were, if you gave notice, things like that. And so it's definitely easier to get a job down the line if you have treated your past employer with respect and given them some notice. If you have never seen your social security number before, this would be a good time to track it down because you will need to provide it to your employer. Your employer is required to report that to the IRS with your earnings, which you therefore use to file a tax return with. You file your tax return April 15th of the following year. So if you start working in 2021, you'll file a tax return by April 15th of 2022 for the amount of money that you made in 2021. As far as deductions from your paycheck, when you get your very first paycheck, you know what you're supposed to make per hour, and so in your head you've got a calculation of what your paycheck should be, and then you open it up and it tends to be less than what you expected because of deductions. Over here to the right is a picture of Rachel from Friends. If you're not familiar with the show, her first job was working at Central Perk, the coffee shop, and she gets her first paycheck. She's all excited to open up her first paycheck. She opens it up and she says, "Who is FICA and why did they take all of my money?" And of course the audience laughs, but what she's referring to is all of the taxes and things that come out of your paycheck, the other deductions. Social Security taxes, Medicare taxes, Idaho state income tax, and federal income tax all get deducted from your paycheck. On the last slide, we talked about getting your first paycheck. Well, your hourly wage will be dependent on your employer, but it can be no less than $7.25 per hour. That is the minimum wage in Idaho, unless you are a tipped employee, such as a waitress, waiter, or a bartender, someone who makes tips as part of their wage. Their hourly wage will be less than that $7.25 minimum wage. An employer cannot make you work outside of your scheduled work without paying you. That is a violation of federal employment law. If something happens to you on the job and you're injured, there's something called workers' compensation. It provides compensation to you if you are injured on the job while doing your job. If you find yourself with questions and possibly needing the assistance of an attorney, there are a couple of different options. First off is the lawyer referral service. It's operated through the Idaho State Bar. You go to their website, you fill out some information, put in what kind of an attorney you're looking for. You pay a $35 fee and you get a half-hour consultation with an attorney in that field. Next up is the Idaho Volunteer Lawyers Program. You can visit their website and get more information on the program. Lastly is Idaho Legal Aid Services. Also visit their website and get more information on their program.